So the CHIMES trial was really developed out of a need to better understand MS in underrepresented populations. We have this emerging amount of data that suggests that risk for MS and incidence is highest in Black people in the U.S., primarily Black women. And we also have multiple studies that suggest that the outcomes, meaning more disability, higher walking disability earlier in disease, and even higher mortality, is seen in minority populations, including Black and Hispanic Latino Americans. So the CHIMES study was really developed to try to address understanding some of these issues in a more controlled setting, because our clinical trial data has very, very low enrollment of African American and Hispanic populations. There are a lot of reasons why there are smaller numbers of minority populations in our clinical trials. I think that one of the ones that we often focus on is certainly mistrust, which is an issue because of the history of unfair experimentation, especially in the Black population, and the discrimination and racism that people still experience within the healthcare system. But I think we have to take a broader look and begin to look at the institutional barriers to enrollment in trials. For instance, the sites where many of our trials are conducted may not have large minority populations. We also have to look at our researchers. We don't have very much diversity within our researchers who may be able to speak to some of these populations. In addition, when we look at things like inclusion and exclusion criteria, if it's very narrow, it will totally dismiss or overlook those who have comorbidities. And we know that comorbidities like diabetes and hypertension are more common in minority populations. So I think that, we have to take a broader look at both the institutional barriers as well as the patient barriers, such as cost and time, which leads to the decreased enrollment in trials.